All right, guys, so today we're going to do a little work on the 30-inch. So right here, you see it right there. I had a bunch of junk in front of it. I just cleaned that all out. You see it's pretty dirty. It's got a lot of crud in there. What I did was I spent some time, I wiped down the ways so that I could move the carriage back and forth without, kind of picking up junk and scratching it up. It's got a 3-jaw chuck on it. This one is got the ELSR, and it also has a taper attachment. And what else? We have 30-inch. Oh yeah, this one has a coolant pump where my other two don't. What I'm going to do today is we're going to put the tubes in it, and we're going to run some 220 to the motor drive, and we're going to fire it up and see how it spins. We've got a fellow that's interested in buying it, and he'd like to see it, so I figured I'd fire it up so you all could see. We do have the dry belts on it, but the belt for the feeds is gone. And it was on there, but it just disintegrated when I was messing with it. So I think they're 30-something bucks from Monarch. But I might take one off of one of the other lathes just to throw it on here. But I do know that the feeds work because I just spun this guy around by hand. So if we engage this thing right here, and then you can see that's spinning right there. So we know that that works. All right, so let's get to work on this thing, and we'll get this electronics enclosure opened up, and we'll get these tubes in there, and then see what happens. I'm gonna say I fired this lathe up when I got it in the original location, which was at the old IBM factory, and I want to say that was about 4 years ago. And it's basically sat right here for 4 years. I haven't done anything to it. So let's get it going, see what we get. There's a bunch of paint stuck in that. That's screwed right there. This one too. Ugh. Okay. And we'll get this opened up over here too, so that we can get the power hooked up to it. Let me just bring you over there. This sticker right here, this is the last time we got a safety check, was $28.99. Okay. That's kind of interesting. This first one I saw with that, it's got like a schematic right there on the inside of that door. Pretty cool. So right here is where the power comes in. Right there, and what we'll do is we're just not going to wire in the third leg that would be needed for the coolant pump. So I'm not going to mess with the coolant pump because I don't have 3-phase here unless I tie it into my phase converter. So trying to see where they got. Well, it's kind of interesting because they got these wires right here coming directly in. I'll have to figure that out. I don't know what that's all about. Right there. These wires are coming in from the outside, power wires. Yeah, kind of strange. All right, well, let's get this thing opened up and get the tubes in there. So whoever will be the next proud owner of this machine is gonna have to do the elbow grease thing, which is what I had to do on the other two. It's the way that it is. So if you remember, I don't know if can you see what I have going on here. Sorry about that, guys. If you remember on that last last lathe I did, I had one of these the smaller tubes here. The top connector on the tube came apart off of the tube, so I got to get this out of here on this tube, and I bought a new tube. So there's a new this smaller tube, because the tube that came out of here, you can see this actually is supposed to stay with the tube. I'll show you when I get the other one over here. When I did run it, I didn't run it for very long, just a few minutes, just to make sure that it actually worked. I wasn't sure of the condition of the oil and stuff, and the you know, the gearboxes and stuff. Okay, so let me go get some tools. I'll pull that out, and I'll go grab the tubes, and we'll get this thing put together, and then we'll get some power on it. Okay, so I mentioned to you before about the tube. So right here you can see I bought this new tube, and you can see right here, this is where are we at? There we go. That stayed in the connector there. It's not supposed to, so that's got to go like that. So we'll get that new tube in there, and we'll get these other guys in. All right, so let's see. Okay. What I'll have to do is I'll just go back and look in the book. I don't remember where these guys go. When I took them off, I tightened the you know, the connectors all back up so that nothing vibrated loose. It wasn't a long trip from where I had to move it from, like an hour and 10 minutes or so. So we'll get these guys disconnected here. Can't remember which ones were which. All right, so what we'll do is we'll just go back. I'm pretty sure it was these two, and then back here it was these two. So we will go and we'll take a peek at that. Okay, guys, I went to the other machine and figured it out. And let's get this thing connected up. These will come out and get packed properly when it gets ready for shipment. Everything I've read about these machines is that with these older tubes, you definitely don't want them bouncing around in here. So we'll take them out, put them in a nice box with some padding and foam and stuff, and make sure they survive the journey to wherever this machine's going to go. think I might have mentioned in another video with this drawer open, I made the mistake of leaving the drawer open while I was troubleshooting some problems, and I dropped the tool off the top of the headstock, and it came down and it bounced off of the lathe up top here and then crashed into here. It was an adjustable wrench, and unbelievably, it did not hit any of these tubes. So I'll never do that again. As soon as I'm done messing around with this thing, it's going to get closed up. These tubes are gold. Okay, so now what we'll do is, we got to get that one, the last tube in there. Okay. Okay, gotta look and see. There's 2 fat prongs and 2 thin prongs, so it's gonna go this way. Okay. Put that on. I do know that maintaining these older dry systems are a bit challenging. So you have to have some amount of patience and know that they might not be so reliable. It might take a little fiddling. All right, so I'll bring you back when I get some power connected up to this thing. Hey guys, I was just editing the video for this 30-inch, kind of startup that I was doing, and unfortunately, my camera didn't record the first couple startups that I did on it. So I'm just going to explain to you what I ran into, and then what happened the next day. Kind of fill in the blank for you. So when I first turned this thing on, everything worked. Powered up, everything was fine. In open belt, when I cranked it up, I was getting this almost like a thumping noise, a thunk, 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 that sped up and slowed down, obviously, with the speed of the spindle. So I had taken the back covers off here, and I'm just trying to figure out, was it a flat spot in the belt? At one point, I thought there was this idler pulley that had a flat spot, and maybe it was that. So it wasn't any of that. So as it turned out, this is what I think was going on. I think it was basically probably a mark left on the commutator from the, where the brushes are, because as you'll see coming up here in a minute, I ran the thing for probably, 5 minutes at maybe 2,000 RPM, and then it just went away. The noise went away, and it just sounds, super smooth. So apologize for whatever reason. I didn't get the recording of the first turning on, powering up, but it's okay. So you'll see what I'm talking about here in a minute. All right, guys. Next day, I'm back on the 30-inch 10EE. So, if you remember, I was having this kind of thumping noise coming out of here, and I kind of thought it was this guy right here, because there definitely is a flat spot on this idler pulley. So I pull this back cover off right here to see if I could better pinpoint where the sound was coming from. So it definitely sounded like it was coming from the motor. So what I just decided to do was just to run it. And I think, this thing has brushes in it. I'm pretty sure what it was, hadn't been running so many years. So we'll just do this again. I'll show you what we have going on here. So right there, see, we're in open belt right now, not in back gear. And if I speed this thing up, see, it's actually very quiet. Okay, the clicking that you hear, of course, is those contactors that are dumping the power into those big resistors that slow it down. So, anyway, that sounds pretty good. Let's stop it and turn it in the other direction right here. Okay, let's reverse. Same thing. It sounds pretty good, actually. So I think what I'll do is I'm going to pull that flat belt off of one of those other machines and stick that on there, and this way we can run the speeds and feeds and see if we can't get that carriage running and stuff. So far so good. It seems to work pretty decent, and it's quiet. The back gear is I did put it in back gear before. Hold on a minute, I'll get it in back gear. Okay. Now, if I remember, when I first turned the thing on, back gear was pretty noisy. All my other ones are noisy too, so I don't know if it's just the way back gear is on these things. Not really sure, but it is noisy in back gear. All right, so let me go grab one of those flat belts and let's see if we can't get that thing running, with the gearbox. All right, I'll bring you back in a sec. Okay, guys, so let's try this out with the with this drive engaged. So I'm gonna get it engaged first. Come over here, we'll turn it on. And then we're this thing going. Okay, it's pretty quiet. This bearing right here, idler bearings are shot. They're very gritty. All right, so we got our feed screw going. So let's see, let's engage this. Okay, so there we go. That works, and then that's this guy right here. So that's bringing the compound, or not the compound, but the cross light out. Then if we take this guy, push that in, it should go the other way. Okay, so that's going the other way, and then this guy should be threading in, and that is correct. Okay. I gotta say, it's a lot quieter than my other machine, the one that I just redid, so I guess this one has a pretty decent gearbox. All right, disconnect that. All right, well, this thing runs pretty good. For ha-has, let's try and see if we can't get this thing to where am I at here? I'm gonna do right hand. Let's see if we can't get the threading business going here. So right hand threads, that's this guy. I'm gonna need two hands because I gotta spin some stuff around to get this engaged into threading, and then I'll bring you back. All right, guys, so let's see what we got here. We got it all set up for threading here, threading here, threading here, and we're in, okay. Give it some speed. That's spinning right there. In order to thread, you have to have this selector in the middle, and here are the half nuts, and there we go. Okay, so that works. Okay. So like my other machine, always noisier in threading. I think there's more gears for it to go through. So, all right, guys, that wraps up this little video on the condition of this 30-inch, and I do have a guy interested in it. And one of the questions that he had was, what does it have for chucks and stuff? So this machine came with that chuck right there, which is a 3-jaw. And let me go round up the other stuff, and I'll show you. Okay, guys, so I looked around, and the chuck that came with this machine is that chuck right there. I don't think I've got another chuck for this one, but I'll keep looking around. But I kept everything pretty segregated, for each of these machines. So yeah, I think it's pretty interesting. This thing sat from whatever that date was on there, 1999. I got the machine about 4 years ago or so. So I know that in right around 2000 or so, this place, this plant had basically shut down. So it sat for, this machine hasn't run for 20 years, thereabouts. So a little over 20 years. Put the tubes in it, put power on it, fired it up. It had a few cranky moments, with some of that, noise that I was hearing in the very beginning, but that went away. So I think this machine's actually in pretty good shape. I don't want to really run it anymore until, the oil gets changed. I mean, it does have oil in it, but it really needs, it needs what the other ones needed, which is a lot of elbow grease to clean up all these years of dirt and grime, and clean all the cobwebs out of it and put it back to good use. I think this is a pretty decent machine. So hope you enjoyed the video, and I'll bring you back on the next project. I guess I'll be continuing on with the Impala, and I'll get some videos up on that. I've been working on that fairly regularly, so there's some good stuff coming on that. So thanks for watching, guys. Talk to you soon.